Yo,
Yo,
all right, peoples. This is another Breaking the Narrative podcast, BTN for short, and I'm also Real Mark Anthony.
I'm Teddy.
All right, man. I got a subject here that I would like to address. I might get beheaded for this one,
Beheaded.
but I kind of been seeing this on YouTube because YouTube is my TV, and this comes up quite a bit, and it got me really thinking, man. Like addressing the conversation of why is it that us men are not really approaching women anymore as we used to back then.
Okay.
So I want to know kind of from like your standpoint of view,
hmm
like if you ever had the experience of not really addressing a woman or you see somebody that you was attracted to. Say you go out at the mall or something like that, and you just
Okay.
like, you know what, man, like she really beautiful and everything, but as they say, is is the juice really worth the squeeze? Like
Okay. Okay.
so like I've been peeping this beautiful woman that's out there, Melanie King, and I do think that that's what it takes is another beautiful woman out there
hmm
to really, and I'm talking about like she looked like she's on some grade A, and
Okay.
her her perspective doesn't seem forced or faked at all.
Okay.
And she's been kind of like watching certain things of how like a lot of these women out here are acting. The ones who be like, "I am the table," or
Yeah. Okay.
if he likes me enough, he'll come approach me, type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
what is your take on that?
Well, first and foremost, I've been hearing females say that the last one for years. If he likes me, he'll come approach me. That's like a mainstay. Um, the last few years, since this whole women empowerment thing has been surging, that's what that first one has came in at, where it's just like I am the table. To me, honestly, a lot of women have been the head of the household or the breadwinner. This isn't something that's just now happening. Obviously, with the whole women empowerment thing, we're giving women more rights to do other things to gain like better income and stuff like that. But a lot of women, to their credit, back in the day and strength and all of that, they already found ways to be like that type of female.
Mm-hmm.
I also felt like back then you didn't have as many like options for stuff as you do now. And I kind of feel like that might be a problem and what's really like derailing like a lot of what I'm assume she was talking about. You know what I mean? Um if if it was a situation where it's like I haven't eaten in a while and I didn't have groceries at home and I had to stop somewhere to get something to eat, like if I have about two restaurants by my house, more than likely you're going to go to one of the two restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of time, you might venture out to somewhere different. Well, more than likely you're just going to go to these two restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like now, you live somewhere where it's like 20 restaurants around. Now you're really not going to be loyal to one restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's too many around to just eat McDonald's every day.
Right.
So that's kind of what I feel like is happening. It's a play on discipline, in my opinion. And as hard as discipline is to maintain, it's so easy to like lose control. And if you don't really feel like there's going to be a super repercussion or negative impact, then you're just going to, go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
So because I feel like females were saying, other females say like, oh, I'm the table, I'm this and that now, I got the power and things of that nature. And it's like, oh, nobody's saying nothing to her. She's being glorified. Let me do it. Whether you feel like it or not, because women have been had the power technically.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of females bend the table.
I mean,
But
I don't know, like there it's quite obvious that we as human beings have the sense of like always trying to secretly topple over other people's victories or try to be like them and claim it as our own sense.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think that's where it comes in when they say, well, when one woman will say, well, I am the table. And then just like you said, they'll realize they're not receiving any type of reprimand or anything like that. So they want to try it too.
Right.
And it's just like, it's just a whole following sense.
Correct.
Just kind of like the opportunities that women have now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw it out there. OnlyFans, for example.
Okay.
How many women have you seen be like, man, I'm so super reservative and everything like that. You'll never catch me being, exposing myself like that, blah, 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 X, Y, Z, until you see the numbers of one female that has an OnlyFans doing this and this. And like, I actually like kind of like did my research on that. I've actually seen a few women say that it ruined their life.
That's
because
believable, yeah.
Yeah, but one, because Reddit exists. Reddit fucking exists.
Now, if you're popular enough, yeah, you are.
But sometimes it just takes for somebody to just be like, well, I want to see this one person or whatever, and then somebody's going to create that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because hackers run prevalent on Reddit.
But what really starts it is because it's easy money, and like that really makes me kind of think about how women these days really have this notion where they're just like, well, I don't have to approach nobody.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't see, to me, I don't see too much effort coming from a lot of women. Not going to say all women.
Right.
Obviously, there's some women out there that are definitely doing their damn thing.
Right.
But there's like opportunities that's like damn near given. Mm-hmm. And then they have this personality where it's just like, you gotta bend every back and knee for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally heard some women say, well, man, if he's not doing this or that, then, obviously he didn't care enough. Or there's, well, if you're not making this amount or you're poor or whatever, you shouldn't be wanting a relationship.
Well, yeah.
What?
Right.
First and foremost, you weren't born rich.
Right.
I mean, if you were, it's not too many of you out there. Like,
right.
You had to work for something.
Right.
And that's if you actually worked. Because, like I said, a lot of them are literally getting handed certain things because all they had to do was exist.
Right.
And so sometimes they'll go into saying, well, that's not my fault that I look pretty and all that. You're right. But also, it's not somebody who you're not attracted to fault that they look the way they look, but they still want to come and talk to you. And this is where I believe it comes into play why a lot of men don't really approach. Because now a lot of women make a scene out of the situation.
Yeah, that's also correct. Okay.
Oh, man, you this and that, you a creep and blah, 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 blah. First and foremost, they a creep because they approached you. They come and say hello. Yeah. You diminished them. You shot them down at hello.
Yeah.
And so, somebody else, another man that you might actually want, sees that. And they're going to possibly think to themselves, is it really worth my time? Like, now, I don't want to deal with that. I felt it for the nigga.
Yeah. Or even from another, like, male perspective, if you feel like, well, I'm attractive, so I know she'll talk to me. But is that something I would really want to date now? Because you see that's kind of shallow.
Mm-hmm. But see, if the dude who is attractive, like, extra attractive, he might just play the girl. And that's where I feel like the woman is playing themselves at this point.
I was about to say,
you basically you filtering and making yourself available to some fuck shit.
Yeah.
So like, if the dude does decide to approach you, man, I really don't want to deal with that long term, but I still want it. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
That's what the average guy gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I just think like. I honestly just think women got the game fucked up. Or at least most women.
Yeah, but the thing is like, technically they don't have it fucked up because the stuff that they're saying isn't a lie. It's just that they're being super arrogant about it.
Nah, I really think They just got to fuck that because it's like, and here's the problem to me:
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it actually is a game. This shit is a game.
Yeah,
They're really playing
unfortunately,
a
yeah.
game. It's too much mental shit going on where it's just like, bro, like this is it's not supposed to be this complicated.
Oh no,
Honestly,
absolutely not.
like I'm literally like since I've really been thinking about it, I've been seeing so many videos. Like I've seen one woman actually put the whole 411 out on the game that women will play. And I'm
Right.
like, bruh, it's just too much. Like
Yeah,
I mean, and of course, it's just like, they'll say men do it too. You right. And men need to stop doing that shit too.
it's not as prevalent though.
Yeah,
Like it's not a bunch of dudes out here like playing games.
like it's like it never really dawned on me this much until I actually heard a female say it, that they really breaking down the man's ego to keep him wanting to come back because now he feels like he got something to prove.
Right.
I'm like, damn, bro, you gotta, and for no reason. You're not provoked at all. You're just doing it because it's just like it's a tactic,
Right.
and it's just like one that's clever, but in an evil fucking way.
Yeah, it's not really.
But
To me, I guess if you're playing the game, you can consider that clever. But
it's too much. If you gotta brainwash somebody to do some shit just to like you, bro.
it's not gonna. But the thing is, that's not sustainable. Because one thing about males is that males are way more smarter than they get credit for.
Oh, I got something to say about that too. But go ahead.
So you'll wake up one day, and we've all been in this situation. You'll wake up one day and you'll be like, you know what? She playing a lot of games with me right now. And it brings you to like a fork in the road. And you're either going to continue down this path. You understand it's probably not going to work out with her, but like you said earlier about the other male, you're probably going to try to continue down this path. You might want to have sex with her or something. Or you're just going to slowly fall back. And, of course, they like to say a lot of males are like nonchalant and stuff like that. When in essence, dudes just go about exiting a situation way less complicated than females. Like how you said earlier, they make scenes. They like to make scenes about stuff. Mm-hmm. A nigga really don't want to make a scene.
Right.
The average nigga's going to like, damn, that's a L. You know what I'm saying? And then you just...
and go on with it.
Yeah,
because people love to see shit transpire, and people like to clown.
Yeah,
and now it's just like your night fucked up.
Yeah,
or it might be, and it'll
be fucked up. The first night will be fucked up, depending on how much you fuck with shorty. It's gonna be fucked up,
bro. That shit goes south real quick.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's way more complicated than it need to be. Like we put prices on so many things in life now. Like, we basically materialize the female. So they're on the same like plateau as like money or gold or diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Like that's basically what.
Which, oh man, this is just a problem, bro. Like,
it is.
You gotta go back to the drawing board, bro. Like go back, we fucked up.
Yeah, and it's true, and it comes down. I don't know what podcast we did, but we did a podcast a long time ago, and we were saying things like, it's gonna take something happening because everything happens full circle. It's gonna take something like catastrophic to happen that's gonna have to like bring people together as far as like not caring about looks or not caring about money and understanding that the inside is what matters the most. Mm-hmm. That's what's gonna raise your kids. You looking good is not gonna raise your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look good and she look good, so we make a cute baby. That's what people be looking at nowadays.
They do. It's like now, yeah, they're gonna grow up beautiful, and if the society still is the way it is, man, they definitely gonna make it.
And why would you even risk that? Because the energy doesn't the energy always shift?
It do. It definitely does, or it all depends on the route that the person goes to as well. Because, like I said, man,
It's true too.
you can lose your looks off of bad decisions,
Anything. You smoke too much, you drink too much, car accident, like
or you just gonna meet somebody that really just don't give a fuck.
yeah.
So it's just like, and
yeah, you get older. Now I will say this: there are some people out here that's getting older without physically getting older. I will say that. Like there's humans are clearly evolving right right in front of our eyes. But nah, when it comes back down to like approaching women, I'm wrong for what I'm about to say, right? But
maybe
no, it's wrong. It's wrong because it's gonna go against with everything I just said. I'll look at the female and categorize her based on how she looks and put her into like a stereotype. So if she looks overly attractive, then I'll put her into a category where it's like, all right, she's probably out of my league. So I know if I'm going to smack at her, one, I'm expecting some type of attitude, and two, I'm playing with house money. I ain't got nothing to lose. Which is why a couple of the attractive female friends I do have that it actually worked out with was just like, I tell them like, yo, I really thought I was gonna get cussed out. I thought, you know what I'm saying?
facts, because that's just that's the reputation that
Right.
it was built, because there are attractive females out there that's doing that shit.
Right.
Just because they're attractive.
Right. And it's like, damn. But yeah, I just categorize them like, okay, she looks good, but she's not overly attractive. You know what I'm saying? So I can take her serious. Because I don't know if the super attractive girls understand, like really realize it, but you really don't get taken that serious.
And that's the thing. That's where, like, the very moment that they truly realize that shit, and then the numbers actually play into it. Like, I say, you know how the saying goes, or at least this is what Tyson said. Everybody got a fucking plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Right.
All right, cool.
It's
So
true, by the way.
you got a plan that you just super attractive. But here's the thing. Suppose you one day you go to a club, right? You get up, gussied up. You just know you gonna turn heads. But nobody really gives a fuck. Nobody comes and compliments you. You don't get as much looks as you expected to get, or if you get any looks at all. Or suppose if you go to a place, but everybody booed up. Just so happens. It's a very rare chance. But everybody booed up, or just like, man, I'm just out here to have a good time, man. I'm too
Right.
busy enjoying myself. I don't give a fuck that you pretty.
Right.
And so that's gonna fuck with her ego.
Right.
And it's just like, damn, man, the night was some shit. Unless you really wasn't out there, which a lot of people will say this as a cover up. Man, I'm just out here to have a good time, man. I'm all right. If you really about that, then yeah. But to you internally, if you're not about that, it's gonna be like, dang, man, ain't nobody try to talk to me. This, that, and the third. And also, I didn't get to use the common move that females will do. I didn't get to have that, have a chance to dance on my friend, to act like, I'm unavailable.
Right. Right.
Which, or at least a lot of females will do that because nobody's approaching them. And how I had a chance to peep that myself is because, oddly enough to me, like, some people will be like, man, you're really attractive, you're really handsome, this, and this, man. Like, it should be easy for you. To me, it's not. Want to know why? Because I'm not going in with that mindset. I'm going in with, like, hey, I'm not ugly and all this other stuff, but my looks is not my advantage.
Right.
So when people will tell me, man, you should go dance with that girl, such and such, like, I've actually had friends that'll try to push me to a girl. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm enjoying myself. I'm happy. Yes, if I'm dancing to myself, I'm enjoying the vibe. But I do notice that certain females will look at me in my direction, and I'm just like, should I or should I not? But now they're dancing with their friend because it's just like, it fucks with them just like it will fuck with us.
Right.
For an egotistical way, they're not being approached, and then they'll start to think things like, what's wrong with me?
Right.
I went to Jamaica, lie to you not. And words start to get around just a tad bit because my cousins start to hear things. I hung with my cousin because we just like to watch each other's back and everything like that and just enjoy ourselves. We in Jamaica, man. Just shit, I'm enjoying my roots. So we just having a good time. where we were, it was plentiful, as always, plentiful amount of beautiful women out there.
Mm-hmm.
Even to a point where they was wearing stuff where you can see almost see their whole anatomy.
Right.
It got to a point where there were certain women that we were hanging out with. Why? Because one, they decided to break the ice. We're always open. Sometimes we'll go talk and all this other stuff, and then we'll move on and try to make as much friends as possible. But then we also like being approached as well. And it's not just like an ego thing. It's just like we ain't gonna keep bugging everybody. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we just gonna sit and chill. So there's people that are actually come and communicate with us, and we're open. Mm-hmm. We're definitely open. And so there was two females that showed up with each other, and they started talking with us. One, word started getting around, man, and they were Caucasian, they were British, mm-hmm. and it was just like we used to hear like, yeah, man, you know, is that your girl or this or that or whatever, and blah blah blah. No, but they do come out and put in the effort to hang out with us. They taking the time. I mean, we allow them to do their own thing if they want to go separate and do something different. We still doing us, but they come and approach us and be like, hey, how you doing, man? You know, says, how was your day? Mm-hmm. What you doing tonight? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then it started getting worse because me and my homie, we hang out a lot. Like I said, we watching each other's back. Mm-hmm. We there together, so we do our own thing. He sometimes hit the bar, go swimming or whatever I'm swimming, or hit the gym, hit the spa, whatever the case may be. And then we still meet up. And so it got to a point where women will look at us, and me, I notice, but I'm not like, all right, I'm gonna go out the way because I'm thinking the same thing that you might be thinking, arrogant, yeah, attitude or whatever, or maybe not. And I do sit there with that possibility, but I'm like, again, is the juice worth the squeeze, or am I just gonna be feeding your ego? Because I don't have time for that. It's not because I'm afraid, or well, maybe I might be afraid, but I'm afraid of wasting my time. Right. Because the thing is, I don't care how pretty you are, your ego don't mean shit to me. Right. It really don't. Right. Because there's plenty of other women out here, and two, you're just like, what are you? You're just another human being. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So respectfully, so you can stay where you are with that. Right. But my cousin started to hear things. He's like, yeah, man, I'm a little blown. I was like, man, why? And I'm just sitting there taking a shot or whatever. This is like, yeah, man, why? What's going on? He's like, yeah, man. I think because we ain't approaching a lot of these women that are around us, they starting to think that we gay. Then now I'm blown. I'm like, first and foremost, bro, like, this is my cousin. Or at least somebody that see as my cousin. So I'm like, come on, bro. And I'm definitely straight. Right. I know for a fact I love women, but at the same time, it's just like, just because I didn't approach you, now you gotta come up with a destructive reasoning for why you're not being approached. Right, and that's very common too, because it's like you'll see it on Facebook. I see it on Facebook a lot as well, where it's like if females say they got statuses where they're saying if a guy turns down pussy, he's gay. Like he's just obligated to have sex with every female moving. You know what I'm saying? When in essence, it's like I said earlier, guys, they're way smarter and more mature than what they get credit for. I'm glad you said that again because there was something I wanted to touch on about that and I forgot. Oh, yeah, go ahead. But, well, for one, I can't tell you how many times that I've got blamed for cheating or something was wrong with me when there was a moment I was just like, nah, man, I really just don't feel like having sex. Right. What? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong. Like, are you must be cheating. I literally had a girl tell me she got mad at me and she was ready to put me on some fucking, I don't know, what she called punishment type shit. And I was just like, you know, like, what's going on with you? She's just like, you must be cheating. Nah. I just don't want to have sex. But you always want to have sex. Right now, I've actually just don't want to have sex. Like, I corrected myself. There's nothing wrong. If anything, if there is anything wrong, it's with me. And it's just like, I just felt like I didn't want this relationship. I don't want too much of that to be the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm just chilling. I want to enjoy just the time with you without having to do that. That sometimes it just like the girl has to find something wrong because it's hurting her pride.
I like what you said a few minutes ago. Destructive.
Yeah,
it ain't something that's just small. Yeah. It's something that
They have to
damage your character. You
they
know
have
what
to
I'm
make
saying?
something out of it because now they don't want to sit here. They don't want to find anything wrong with themselves, and
Right.
two, when they do find something wrong, they are not finding the right thing that's wrong. The right thing that's wrong is the fact is that you really expect that every beck and call, if when you want to or whatever, that it's just that easy where like, yeah, I'm gonna just have sex.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen women, I've had girls that try to manipulate the situation with their looks and
Of course.
their
Yeah.
charm, and like especially when sometimes when you mad or you serious, they try to manipulate that. Me, I'll get even more upset because I'm like, bruh, like you trying to take me for a fool right now. Don't try to manipulate me with that.
Right.
If you're gonna manipulate with me with something, manipulate me with something that matters to me.
Right.
That don't matter to me. That's just
Right.
an insult, and you're caught.
Right.
So that goes into what I'm about to try to jump onto now is the fact that women genuinely do think we're stupid.
Yeah, because it's a very popular stereotype.
And
for
it brings me
males.
to this question, how the fuck is that a thing? Because I literally, again, I saw another video that a woman had to put out there. And she said that she received so much hate from other women about it. When she said, men are not dumb.
Right.
But so one, that alone, that had to be said. I'm like, bruh, like why the fuck did that have to be a conversation? And two, when she mentioned it again, she was like, men are not dumb romantically.
Okay.
I was just like, bruh, like first and foremost, we're not dumb at all. Just like if we're all gonna be calling each other dumb, all of us are dumb. We're all capable of being dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if we're gonna be smart, all of us are capable of being smart. So it's just like, bro, like, damn, it's a margin where men could be. It's rare that men could be, you know, smart intellectually.
Mm-hmm.
It baffled the fuck out of me. I'm like,
Right.
why is this really a conversation at all?
Well, the popular consensus is that males are dumb. You know what I'm saying?
The shit that I can say about women right now, but does that necessarily mean that women are dumb? Like,
Right.
come on,
Right.
man. It's
Right.
just,
But that's it. One, a lot of females are taught to say that, like mentally and subconsciously, even going back as far as like, you remember the nursery rhymes and boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider, and just so they taught that from like a very young age that this is what it is. This is a big game. You know what I'm saying?
and it's unfortunate, bro.
It is because it's like we already did podcasts about how much males have to endure in life anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then just to turn around and have to play these shenanigans as well. When in essence, your significant other, or if you don't have one, you're trying to find one. When you're approaching like the opposite gender, that should be the I ain't gonna say no challenge at all because you don't want it to be too easy, but it shouldn't be the hassle that it is today. Because now today, it has half the black community running around single or cheating because now you done got with Mr. Handsome and you realizing like, damn, looks ain't enough. And now it's being with an attractive person is a good look. So you're hesitant on leaving that person. Now you're messing with the person that got you laughing all day, taking the time to check up on you and show you that you feeding your soul. You know what I'm saying? And now you got the best of both worlds essentially, but outside of one person. So you don't know what to do. And it's like I said at the beginning of the podcast, like the discipline thing, that's where that comes in. Because if you got good discipline, that's great. But it also can be destroyed in a matter of seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, it's times where I've talked to like multiple girls at the same time. But going into that situation and that decision, you already try to do like, and this is with anything in life, you already try to do like a slight foreshadow. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Now, if I do this, let me see, what's the worst that could happen? And you'll think like, all right, neither one of these females are crazy enough to like shoot me or cut me or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? One of them isn't even a fighter, so I don't have to worry about them fighting necessarily. Worst come to worst, my reputation might be damaged and this and that. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But other situations now, if you're dealing with females that will shoot somebody or something like that, then I wouldn't advise you to to do that. But no, you foreshadow, and that's probably what females do with a lot of males. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then females have this other. I'm not gonna say it's a power, but they have the other super option of having like side dudes, and dudes are like more perfectly fine being in the shadows of a female in her relationship.
And that's another problem right there. It's just like we're encouraging that.
Right.
Like,
Whereas though, I feel like a majority of the females that side chicks, they're side chicks, but they're aiming to take that main chick spot.
which all of that just
It's foolery.
it's all destructive factors, man. Like,
Yeah.
and again, a lot of it is with ego. Like, first and foremost, when it comes to a side dude or a side chick, you tolerating something that really is beneath your worth,
Right.
and you're just encouraging that certain specific behavior. Like, when it comes to dudes being side dudes, it's just like it blows me because I'm like, come on, bro. Like, this is why they feel the way they feel sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
like it's one thing for them to kind of make it up amongst themselves, but it's another where you're basically giving a false confirmation for that.
Yeah, you're executing the game plan.
And the reason why I call it false confirmation is because you are confirming, but it's not. This shit ain't real. You're just giving them a placebo effect of what they believe is supposed to happen. And so it gets to me, like, for example, there was one time I went out to the club with my homeboy. This night, it really blew me for two reasons. One was because of the moral, and two, because of a physical sense. So that night, there was it was a very attractive female there, thick and all that. And so eventually, at a certain point, the club started to fill up. There's two levels, and the level that we're at, typically that's where everybody is going to be starting out, or they're going to get pushed that way because they'll start closing off the bottom floors, and it'll just be that top floor that's open.
Okay.
So there was like groups of dudes that was in there. I mean, just dudes just coming from left and right, like animals to a mating ball or whatever, bro. It was just like, literally, it was always every type of dude, every time I turn around, trying to be on this one female.
Okay.
I already knew where to look. If
Right.
I was to get bumped, I already knew obviously you know where to look when you get bumped.
Right.
But it was just like, it started to get crowded, shoulder to shoulder, and all this other shit. And it's like, you can tell sometimes when you get bumped because there's not enough space, and the difference between getting bumped because somebody trying to get you out the way.
Right. Okay.
It was like one of these nudges, like forearm type joints, and I'm just like, all right, bro. Like, I'm sitting there talking to my man. My man's looking at me. He's like, "You good?" I was like, "Bro, this shit gotta stop." He's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Bro, if I get pushed one more time, even in the slightest, for this female, because the female is like, she wasn't like basking the glory of it. She was just like, to a point, I started to say that she was getting shook knighted. Like, it started to get aggressive. Like,
Right.
they was on her, so she's just kind of like coming in compliance because she didn't want no trouble. So it was just like every dude from the woodwork coming in, dancing up on her and everything like that. And it was just like, I could tell she tried to get away because there's times when she seen an opportunity in the space. Like, I could have been like, well, yeah, I like to dance with her too. And I would have liked to dance with her. Just to
Right.
talk to her and communicate with her. She was beautiful and everything like that. But at the same time, I was like, man, she's in trouble, bruh. So I was like, every single time I was next to her or whatever, and I seen an opening, I can clear away, one, because I'm a dude, and two, some people just tend to get out of my way. And so when I seen an opening, I step to the side, and she'll take the opportunity to walk through, and she would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. I guess especially for the demeanor that I have and the shit that I've always been wearing, a lot of people used to think that I used to work security at the club.
Okay.
So they're just like, all right, cool, we won't get out of his way. So every single time I see an opening, I let her step through.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so Shorty trying to get away. She's not basking in like the attention at all. She's trying to get away now because she's tired of it. She's like, look, I just want to hang out with my friends for once, or have a seat, or get a drink. She's trying to get away. And there was dudes that literally would just grab up on her, pull it over to them and everything, and just like, yeah. And it just got to a point where it was nothing but dudes around me and nudging and pushing. I'm like, dog, y'all literally are fighting to get to this one female. There's a whole club full of females, but this one, you guys are trying to keep getting to. And I just so happen to be in the same area because, one, I'm not straying too far from my boy.
Right.
If shit pops off, I'm there for him. So I don't need to stray too far. If I'm astray, I'm going to probably be like, you know what, bro, I'm heading to the bar, whatever you need to find me, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to go into the bathroom, some shit. So I'm getting pushed to a point now. I finally had it. That last dude that pushed me, I'm going off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I'm going off and stealing off on him. I'm like, bruh, you need to chill the fuck out. At least apologize, because you stepping on my feet
Mm-hmm.
and you nudging me and all this other shit, bro. You in my space right now. I understand it's crowded, but you didn't even say, I'm sorry, my bad, bro. None of this is respect. Right. So literally, it got to a point where the DJ he paused the music.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was just like, bro, it's good, it's good, it's good. Even to the females now, they're just like, yo, you look at how much bigger you are compared to him, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm not thinking about that. It's like, bro, you was about to eat that nigga alive. Okay. Because now it's a respectful sense, because these niggas are now out here acting wild as fuck for one female.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, thankfully, she wasn't moving in an egotistical way.
Right.
But shit like that is going to boost a lot of females' egos, and they're going to play off of that. They don't give a fuck what happens around. It's supposed if a fight breaks out, oh man, niggas fighting over me, such and such, and you know what they're going to say? Oh, those niggas some fools. They ain't going to care.
Right.
They're just like, well, it's a successful night. I look pretty. I look bomb. I'm going to get the fuck out the way. And now people getting fucked up fighting over a fucking female.
Yeah.
That's not yours. You trying to get her.
I'm about to say she's not fucking with nobody.
It's not fucking worth it, bro. And the thing is, they're going to sit there and laugh. Because, again, they feel appraised at this point.
Right.
So, that shit gets very disappointing when there's so many dudes out there encouraging that type of behavior. Just like there's some women that'll encourage certain behavior between attractive men. But I've seen a lot of attractive men that will socially test how women will act.
Okay.
Like dudes that are built. They'll purposefully do a social experiment where they take off their shirt and see. First, they'll make themselves unbecoming and see how much attention they get then.
Mm-hmm.
And they're recording it, put it on YouTube or whatever. Then they'll start showing their true selves or whatever, and then see how women will flock to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, dog, that's crazy. I like to watch stuff like that because I like to be aware of this shit.
Right.
I need to know for a fact that if it's me tripping or not, and like it now becomes a study. I'm studying women at this point and their behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I talk about it, I'm not talking off of inklings or theories anymore. Like,
right.
I'm talking about shit that is actually being proven. So for that to just continue to be encouraged, it's baffling to me.
Right.
Like, why? What for?
A lot of it. Also, what we didn't mention is like obviously desperation as well. Females is an interesting thing because it's like what dudes do well against females is they know how to put like a lot of pressure on females. And so no matter what kind of female you approaching, whether she like got was she married, in a relationship, single, whatever, there's a lot of dudes that know how to like apply a lot of pressure, and you put girls in a certain situation to see if they'll fold under said pressure. And then, like I've been saying earlier, it all comes down to like the discipline thing. Because I'll give you perfect examples. Now, if I tell recent stories, people listening might can figure out who it is. So I'll take it back to like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were younger growing up, right? And in the neighborhood, is obviously I lived in this area, so you could just imagine like there's a lot of females, there's a lot of males. So what happens is because we've all been around each other for like years, you kind of build up reputations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. There was one female. Now the female was known as like a little bit of a hoe. So what happens is eventually she gets in a relationship. Now other males will see that and be like, "Nah, once you a hoe, you always a hoe." Obviously, we talk about it all the time. Like, it's hard for people to change their stigma about you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they believe you are in their mind, that's what you're going to be forever, whether you change or not. So you have the dudes that go, they just say it, and then you have the dudes that's just going, let me go just test it out. Let me go smack and see if she really like trying to be in a relationship, or is she just doing her? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was, guy ends up having sex with the girl while she's in a relationship with another dude, and obviously the dude didn't find out. Now the guy comes back to our circle. Oh yeah, she's still a sweet boy. You know what I'm saying? So now, and this is where I bring the discipline in at, because now dudes are gonna go smack.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does she have the discipline to like try to hold on to that relationship? Because she obviously got into it for a reason. Or is she gonna let the floodgates back open? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And she ended up letting the floodgates back open. So it's like, because dudes be having a success rate as like the side dude or testing the waters, no matter what the situation is, that's why dudes continue to do it. Like, you ever see, I know you be saying like girls on Instagram and Facebook, they be like, yo, can y'all stop, like, if I don't know you, stop DMing me or stop calling me on Messenger. You seen that, right?
Yeah.
The reason dudes do it is because there's certain females on Facebook where you'll call them randomly on Messenger, and then by tonight you're having sex with them.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's where I be telling shorties, man, I'm like, dog, you gotta hold accountability for yourself.
Right.
And like now, even you are now part of that gender, bro. Like, bring some awareness. Like, you gotta tell your sisters, man, stop doing this shit.
Yeah, that's who you need to be talking to.
And like, at this point, I've seen women do it, and I'm happy to see it. Especially good looking women. Well, everybody's good looking in their own way, but
Right.
but the obviously the physical good looking women are out there literally saying shit, and it's just like, you making it bad for us. Like, you making it difficult for us. For and these are not only just people who are trying to get a man, but there's people who are actually with somebody that are saying like, bro, you making us look bad. Like, come on, bro. Like, chill out.
I can't have peace in my relationship because y'all in relationships doing whatever. So now niggas think every female in relationship is doing,
or just tired of being like part of that gender and just like hearing bad shit about it. Like, nah, like there's some, just like how we used to say, like, you know, when girls would say men ain't shit. Nah, it's definitely some good men out there that really do genuinely fucking care. And sometimes, for those who actually do successfully get in a relationship, we still get the bad end of the stick sometimes, because now we get the chance, but now we gotta tolerate certain shit because they still believe in certain things. And so now it can either get good or it can go bad.
Right.
And a lot of times it goes bad because of what other niggas will do because they just don't fucking care.
Right.
It's just like we all got to take responsibility for the shit that we do.
Right.
But, for those who are literally allowing phone calls and be like, yeah, haha, hee hee, I'm getting attention. I mean, if you leave your line open for the public and if you're going to answer a call, keep it cordial and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Not super flirtatious because some people probably think, well, I'm never going to see this nigga. I'm never going to do this. But you don't know what domino effect is happening. It's going to encourage somebody else to do some fuck shit.
Right.
And it's bad. Shit, again, everything that I'm catching is from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fucking channel out there right now where it's an actual channel, and this is all I've seen on this channel so far,
Mm-hmm.
is that there's these young motherfuckers out there, dudes, that were going to shorties like college dorm rooms or whatever, seeing that they can stay the night, and some actually will let them do it.
Okay.
And then obviously there's some betrayal that they did something, but of course they cut the camera off and shit like that.
Right.
And I'm like, bruh, I get it, college, go wild, whatever. That's stupid, that stigma of that. But I'm like, bro, are you fucking serious? And now it's an actual channel. Like, this is the content that's constantly being shown.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and the titles will say it. Random girl, stranger, going to their dorm room, and I smashed.
Right.
Plain sight.
Right.
There's another one that I just seen where it's like, which girl is going to be in my coming to my new house.
Mm-hmm.
And the video started out, yeah, such and such and such. We're going to see who's going to be the first girl to come into my new house. I'm like, bruh, like, this is a fucking thing?
Right.
Like, come on, bro. Like, immediately I was just like, man, I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's just like, you got to have the show off. I mean, I get it. Like, you got it. You want to do it and you want to enjoy yourself. But this is a fucking thing to put on YouTube now. And it's just like, motherfuckers don't care. It's just like, oh, they did it. And now I'm going to have the opportunity to make another video just like it.
Facts.
What are you doing? And so we got all these women out here complaining about niggas. But look at what y'all doing.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have had rallies, conversations, and everything against man. But what about the women that are encouraging this behavior? Or, putting the building blocks for this to continue to happen.
Right.
Or what it is that y'all doing. Like, y'all need to really have conversations amongst yourselves. Like, man, you know what? There's definitely some of us out here that's really, adding fuel to the fire right now.
Right.
But it's not too many women out here that are really taking the responsibility for that. It's just like, man, ain't shit, blah, 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 and everything. I don't know if that's an ego that's being held upon them right now. It's just like, we ain't do no wrong.
Yeah, it's well, that comes down to being accountable, which it isn't, because everybody's in the community is not on the same page. It creates a bunch of different problems. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's not a sweeping reason across the gender for why all this BS is happening, it's okay. This group of females got trust issues, or this group of females, they're cocky and arrogant, conceited, and they shit don't stink. This group of females is this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you want to take it to like the super serious matters, like this group of females grew up getting molested or something, and it damaged them mentally. Like it's a million different reasons like why shit is fucked up the way that it is. Man, it just. In my opinion, because it's so far gone, like at this moment, I feel like I really just wish people would be like more honest. Because what you were saying earlier, like how it's nothing but like a big game, and it don't even got to be a game.
It don't.
Like if you, I have female friends that'll tell you like, I'm just more suitable to have a couple of dudes. That's what I want. They both know about it. They both accepted it. You know what I'm saying? Like other female friends, they prefer one significant other. Like you're grown. You can freely have what you want. Just be honest about it.
Facts.
If you know you want to talk to two people, You don't have to get into a relationship with one and then sneak another one in the back door.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything. I don't know. I also feel like, speaking of that, on like that subject, I also feel like people just get a thrill out of knowing that they're getting over on somebody.
But my thing is this though: are you really gonna hold yourself responsible if they play that game just as well as you do?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I always tell myself. Like, I'm not really typically a person that's going to try to underhand somebody at all.
Right.
I just don't get with that. Like, I just hate the thought of it and feel of it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ever had to really think before I act, which generally I do all the time, it's just like I have to balance it out, right hand and left.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, if I was to do this and something was to go south because of that, knowing that I could have went a better way, am I ready to hold myself responsible for that possibility? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I was the type of person to go play somebody, would I really want to take that chance? Because the tables could be turned and they could be doing just as well as I am, if not better.
Right.
And can I handle that thought?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
some people literally will go and just think, well, I got a better chance than them, so I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing your side dude or whatever could be doing greater, could got a lot more higher numbers than you. Hell, could be treating the other females a lot better. And eventually you're going to get to a point where you're going to want that.
Right.
But you're not getting it from the main,
Right.
so you want to get it from the side dude.
Right.
And the side dude eventually, if he hasn't figured it out already, he will. And at some point, he probably be like, nah, why am I going to do that for you? I'm just a side dude.
Right. Heck no. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, don't really play that game, because the thing is, somebody can play it back on you.
Yeah.
Don't ever underestimate anybody. And especially for those who you really do underestimate, and then they're at a point in time where they can't do that, but then eventually end up able to do that or move on to something better, it's going to fucking hurt you, bro.
Right.
Is it you playing an ego game now, your ego definitely going to be in check then.
Right.
Because it's just like, yo, like, whole time I'm sitting there thinking I got the upper hand and I'm playing him, but he made it out.
Yeah.
And now he's happier than I am.
Right.
Now I got
which will generally always happen, by the way.
And it's a revolving door. You're gonna have to replace him.
Yeah.
That can get tiresome. Like,
It's gonna weigh you down.
like literally, are you always gonna continue to rely on your looks? Like, it's just like, suppose if that goes, like, you lose that game where you no longer look the same or whatever, and then that's why a lot of people are out there fucking altering their bodies.
Yeah.
You altering your body because you are doing something to increase the longevity of the form of your body.
Right.
Obviously, you ain't as much as the shit as you say you are. If
Or at least you don't believe it.
yeah, you're like, you're not doing that. You're
Right.
not living by that for real. You had to go and pay for something just to make it last longer.
Right.
Because what you know for a fact, without it, you're done. That's it. So it's like, get your ducks in a row, get your personality in check, because that's what's really gonna last. That's why when y'all used to talk to me about certain shit, like, man, you can get the first pick of the litter or whatever through us three, I'm like, bro, I don't care about that, because if I do start off with that and shit goes south or whatever, or she goes beyond that, that's not gonna matter to her, and I can't keep her. If my personality ain't right, she's not gonna give a fuck. She's still gonna leave.
It would depend, because we was just saying, like, in the sense of being at the mall, we were just saying, like, odds are, because anybody that knows me or that's close to me knows I'm an analytical person. So I like to go by percentages. Odds are they're gonna go for you. Now I've told you this a few times as well. Like, you feel like you don't have that good of a personality. I feel like you do.
Oh, I definitely do, but
yeah,
like, off of instinct, though, I get a little worried. Someone like, yeah, man, I wanted to talk to you, and I really initiated this because based off your looks. I'm like, damn, that's unfortunate, because I believe with the way you start things off is really going to be your foundation of that relationship.
Oh no, that's true.
So,
No. Now you wanna build the relationship the right way, correct?
Yeah.
But which is also a problem in today's world, because relationships started. Most relationships are started based on looks.
To this very day, some people are been with people for years and still don't know who it is that they dealing with.
Right. And one thing that I wanted to touch on, what you said a couple minutes ago, is like, as far as like getting your ducks in a row, is like once you hit a certain point, it's like, especially for females. I know this is probably the thought process for this particular situation with females. It's like once you go a certain direction, you can't go back. Because if a female's in her late 20s or 30s or whatever, without however old she is when she gets the cosmetic surgeries done and stuff like that, however old she is, she's going all in because she really doesn't have a choice. Because you can't develop a nice personality in your 30s.
You're almost practically setting your ways at that.
Right.
For most people. I do believe there's some adjustments you can make, but
who's gonna if your executive decision was to go get the surgeries, that says enough about your mindset right there.
It does. It says quite a bit for sure.
Because
there's just not too many people that's going to come to that realization that their personality is going to need to change. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's like the odds of them changing. Because like I could use myself for example. Like I said earlier, when something catastrophic was going to have to happen, something catastrophic had to happen for me to like really break myself down and recreate myself.
Mm-hmm.
If that didn't happen, I probably would have still been the same way.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because there was no reason to.
AKA a humbling experience.
Yeah, because there was no reason to change. Like how we say with the older generation, like they set in their ways, they got a certain mindset. It's because the way that they was thinking, it worked for them. And one huge mistake we always make about life is like, and I do this too, not less nowadays, but we think just because it worked for us, it'll work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. At least from a personal standpoint. Like I said, like we was talking off air about the businesses and stuff. Business is a structured way to do things, so that's always going to work. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But as far as like the personalities and all that type of stuff, it's like, no, different things just work with different people. If your parents grew up, your mother and father grew up, you grew up with your mother and father and they both was doctors, you might not want to be a doctor. But what you think they're going to influence you to be? A doctor. Mm-hmm. Because they were able to do it. It worked for them. They probably think, oh, that's easy money. You know what I'm saying? So it is. And we did a few podcasts, and it's like you just got to catch these mental things like super early on, so it could be easier to adjust. Like mid-30s, trying to adjust, that's gonna be tough.
I mean, that is true, but I do also believe it also has something to do with the amount of encouragement, because I think eventually, you remember how we was talking about making a difference in our black community. Mm-hmm. As black people, we can always do something, and kind of like the more numbers, then we can kind of like diminish the negative circle and make it smaller and smaller. Mm-hmm. So I believe it also can work the same way on this subject as well. If there's enough people that are actually bringing awareness to shit like this, and then so there's more people who are actually starting to go in the different route of one diminishing that issue. Mm-hmm. I think eventually it's just going to be like, again, people tend to be followers. They're going to do what's trending.
Okay.
So if they hear it enough, like, man, it's so many people out here that's changing their morale. They ain't even playing these mental games anymore, and there's it's so many more women that's approaching men as men are approaching women, and so on and so forth. They going to feel inclined to do that.
Right.
Their perspective is going to change. Why? Because they want to be a part of something. They don't. Not too many people want to be too different. As much as they say they do, I'm the original this and this and this and this. Sure,
Right.
but you're still following somebody at some point because you're just like, well, I don't want to be that different. I don't want to. I don't want to stand out too much because you'll be ostracized for that.
Right.
That's just how the society is.
Right.
They ostracize and alienate you for just being too different.
Right.
So now again, for you wanted to play ego game, your ego is going to follow something else.
Right.
I don't want to be different. I want to be just like them. But now it's like they changed the game. The game is to now really approach men.
Right.
So there's going to be those who genuinely do care to do it, and those who are doing it just because everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are doing it just because other people are doing it, I do believe that there is a chance of them learning something from that. Because eventually, as you could start to put yourself into that lifestyle, you're just gonna pick up something, whether
Right.
you intentionally want to or not. You're gonna
Right.
end up hearing shit, and you're gonna think about it because it's just in your ear.
Yeah.
And it's gonna replay in your mind, and you're gonna settle on it. It's gonna marinate, and then
Program.
yeah. So it becomes you become that.
Right.
So I just think that it would definitely help for people to finally be aware of it. And there are some people who are aware of it but just don't care. They're just like, well, look,
Yeah.
just like you said, well, it ain't, what works for me, I'm gonna keep doing it. If it ain't broken, I ain't gonna fix it.
Right. Or at
Or,
least you don't think it's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think that it just needs more, encouragement for that to actually happen and take lift off.
Facts.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, the guidance thing is it's a big deal because it's like once the females like majority of the females went to worshiping like the City Girls and Cardi B and all of them. That's when stuff really just went like super, out of whack.
Yeah, man, I just really think there should be this main question that really should be asked a lot. Why should I? And not just like in an arrogant sense, but literally like, why should I?
Right.
If a girl says, well, you should be chasing after me, many men would try to get me and blah, blah, blah. You should, like, first and foremost, if you ever take the time to say, man, you should feel honored to be talking to me such and such and such. And the reason is because many men want to talk to you. Conversation is over.
Right.
You're gonna it might change you, and then you might want to have a different conversation, which I would be open to. But if that's what you're gonna stick with, you're gonna watch me get up and walk away. I don't care. Again, I don't care how pretty you are or whatever. And if that's the case, make the other best man win.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna see me do it. Because
Yeah.
now you just show me what I'm dealing with. And I don't have the tolerance for that. I'm not. There's things I will tolerate, but if that I'm not gonna play with your ego, because one, that's just stressing me out,
Right.
and two, like, I'm not a type of person that to try to reprogram anybody, and obviously it seems like you might not listen. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm away, but I do take the time to say certain things like I'm honored to do this and experience that. Why? Because now I've dealt with devastating things with females.
Right.
So it's just like the fact that you're sharing that with me, I feel honored. But also I don't put it in such a high pedestal where it's like you can't feel honored for me to give you the same energy.
Right.
It's an honor in general. Like, for example, somebody like, yeah, like, you get to a certain part in your relationship where it's just like, yeah, I think I'm ready to get more intimate with you in bed and stuff like that. It is an honor because you're now exchanging energies and stuff like that. And you got to a point that's a milestone in your relationship because you feel comfortable enough to do so. You want to share yourself as such.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't take this lightly. This is something serious, and I'm honored to have it. Just like I'm giving myself to you. It's both an honor on both ends. That's something to say, yeah, you should be honored about. But if it's just like, oh yeah, you should be honored that you get to sit to me next to me and talk to me and all this other stuff. Who are you? Just like with a celebrity. Yeah, I'll be excited to see you. I love your fucking movies. You
Right.
should be an honor to be able to talk to me. Oh, well, I mean, I guess it's a lot of work to get past your security guards, but who are you?
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Yeah. And most celebrities not even, they're not even like that. You regular people, they act like more celebrities than like celebrities do. Because celebrities be like super humble nowadays. You know what I mean? Of course, you might got the fake little arrogant ones that's, the label probably, when you go out there, just be arrogant, be flashy. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, celebs just be chilling. Like, it don't be nothing. They just be wanting to have a good time. Like, it's
Some people like to just be flashy on shit that they really don't work for.
right. And it's just, it's a very, like, this shit is fucked up. Like I said, something catastrophic gonna have to happen to make people understand like what's really important. You know what I'm saying? So,
Man, look, I know we can go on and on about this subject. Definitely, there's going to be more parts to this for sure. Hopefully, we can get a female's perspective on this one as well. Because, like I said, I like to have both sides in there, man. It's just
Right.
one that makes a compelling argument, and two is just it's not biased. I don't like having biased conversations. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But this is definitely a rabbit hole of a subject. But we are definitely going to bring this to a close, and we're going to pick this back up whenever we can. And like I said, hopefully next time we have a woman's perspective as well to go on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been another Breaking the Narrative podcast, BTN for short. And I'm also Real Mark Anthony.
I'm Teddy.
And we are out of here.
Peace.